Good day, everyone. Welcome to Sound Espressivo, powered by virtual concert halls. We are broadcasting today from Vienna, Virginia, and it's a nice, sweet, and sunny day here. Sound Espressivo is a new generation of classical music competition, which offers contestants to perform in live broadcasts, television style, from their own location, anywhere in the world. Sound Espressivo panel of judges represents top performing artists and educators from around the globe. Sound Espressivo offers an unprecedented array of awards for musicians. Our guests join our programs from their own locations around the world. They bring and share their musical gifts, their expertise, their personalities, their dreams. We present our guests' opinions, and we hope that our audience will benefit from hearing different and maybe sometimes conflicting points of views on classical music, music aesthetics, business, and other topics which we raise throughout our programs. Welcome to our podcast. Meet the judges, music educators, and music managers.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.
Yes, please join us from your own location, from your living room, from your studio, from your school. We turn any space into a global music stage. Today we invited pianist Aphrodite Mitsopoulou, the Sound Espressivo judge, to join our podcast and discuss some pressing topics which are on everybody's mind. Let's welcome Aphrodite, a renowned pianist, educator, tireless supporter of classical music and musicians. She's joining us from Virginia. Welcome, Aphrodite. It's a great pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. What an honor to be a part of this wonderful competition.
Honor is ours. You, the judges and musicians, are who make this happen and who make this event what it is. Aphrodite, you're a well-known concert pianist. As a soloist, you performed all over the world. You collaborated with some of the finest artists of our time. You hold teaching positions with best music schools and music festivals. Your students won a lot of prestigious awards in many competitions. You're also a tireless leader of musicians' communities. You have been leading Virginia Music Teachers Association and its 400-strong membership, and I want to underline that, 400 professional musicians and educators. You have been leading this huge community through the difficult times we're facing right now as Virginia Music Teachers Association's president. It's just a great honor to have you with us today. I have a lot of questions I want to ask you as a performer, educator, and a musician's leader. And I hope we cover at least some of them. What is your response to the situation which many musicians perceive as potentially the end of performing arts, or at least the end of performing arts as we used to perceive it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's the end at all. Actually, it's a beginning, because we get to know so many new sources that we were not aware of before. And that's a great opportunity for us to explore these possibilities, and it's not the end. I think it's wonderful what you are doing, and
Thank you.
the students, the parents, and the teachers will have opportunities like that to keep performing. So it cannot be the end. We all continue loving music and performing, so it cannot.
Oh, thank you for a hopeful message. This is really important for many people to hear today because, depression and gloom and doom can set in quite deeply in people's hearts. It's difficult to imagine performing and teaching without our usual venues being open and without knowing when and how they're going to open, uh, if anytime soon. But you yourself are not shying away from tackling some of the hardest challenges, which can be too intimidating, if not to say daunting, for many professional performers and educators. You do perform live online. And if we can please have a pleasure and an honor to hear your performance.
Of course, I would love to. The piece I will be performing today, it's called The Grand System, and it's from the set A Small White Seashell by a Greek composer. There are only 4 scores in the US. The work hasn't traveled outside Greece. So I think it's a rare opportunity to play this piece for all of you, and I'm excited to share it with you.
Thank you so much. Can't wait. Beautiful, beautiful piece. What a energetic, beautiful piece with a lot of folk element in the air, and of course I never heard it. I'm thrilled to hear to discover a new Greek composer, a new Greek piece, and you are with a Greek or in heritage yourself. This is just so beautiful to have a Greek pianist introduce this music to us. Bravo.
Thank you.
Lovely. What do you consider some of the most urgent challenges musicians need to overcome today, at the moment, currently, in order to continue to stay current, in order to be in demand, continue to be creative and stay productive?
I think the motivation is one. We feel that because we don't have our performance venues, that, okay, why shall I practice so much? And then, psychologically this affects the performers, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't really, because we should continue to do what we love, And performance opportunities are going to happen because there are new formats today, and we should be open to that.
Well, you just performed on one of those new virtual stages. Of course, this is not the only one out there. People are growing into learning this technology. And a lot of people don't want to even try because they feel like that's just way too nerve-wracking. How did you feel?
No, I feel that, of course, as every performance, it's important, but I think um, it's the spontaneity that we have to embrace. Actually, this is what live performance is all about. You're in a concert hall with people that you know or you don't, and you share your music with them, and that's actually, it's kind of a little bit the same feeling. I felt the same, it's coming, it's happening. So it's very exciting, I think.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is, to me, as a performer, virtual stage feels now just like another version of a stage. But when I was to step on it for the first time, which was just happened to be the couch concerts organized by the Kennedy Center, that was very difficult, and it felt strange, and it felt very nerve-wracking. Since then, I got used to that, and I guess you did too. Do you perform on a regular basis through online platforms?
I try to perform as much as I can in this period, and I think the concept behind it is that we have to maintain this training, because performance is another training. And we have to maintain, what if this virus hopefully is going to finish very soon, but what if it lasts for one more year? We won't be performing for a year. And after that, it's, we have to enter naturally into the concept of, okay, now I'm in a concert hall, so I should not forget this experience. And this is the live broadcast, I think, is the closest thing that can be. Recordings are also another way, but it's not the same, right? It's a different experience.
Yes, it is a different experience, and you probably are not old enough to remember, but I am old enough to remember when the video recordings were not yet widespread, and audio recordings were, but majority of the video recordings of performances were actually from the live concerts made by television stations, with those humongous cameras which occupied corners of the concert hall, and with big stands and the microphones which looked like mammoth mouse, and pretty much the only video recordings available were in a live format. And it seems like we're maybe in a way going back to that. The only thing is we are using much more sleek and better technology, I must say. Well, this technology is better than the videos which I can watch from my own video recordings from my own concerts 30, or I'm scared to say 30, 40 years ago. But what I'm seeing now on these platforms is by far better.
Thank God.
Yeah. So we already pretty much answered the question, but I want to still ask you maybe a little bit more specifically about what can we ourselves do in order to maybe expand and push forward this process of continuing to perform when we can't do it in the physical location. Of course, we can raise concerns and seek help from organizations, from governments, from businesses, and so forth. But anything we as musicians ourselves can do.
I think keep performing, just keep doing it. We have to take advantage of every opportunity we have to share our music, because at the end, that's the most important thing, sharing our music. That's why we were doing it, and that's why we do it, because we want to share what we have, our knowledge, and these amazing compositions that they cannot exist without us, apart from the existing recordings, but in a live performance. And that's the amazing about also the live performance, is like you cannot recreate this energy, the feeling that you get, and we have to keep doing it.
Well, a lot of people are discouraged by the limitations of the technology. For instance, performing over Zoom, which is probably one of the most adopted form of master classes and performances for students, we kind of sound, I want to say, underwater, and that can be discouraging. So the technology is a difficult whole other area, and a lot of musicians are maybe not very familiar with it. As a leader of our Music Teachers Association, I'm sure you encountered a whole variety of fluency with the technology. How do you help the teachers overcome those challenges?
Well, we try to break things in very small steps. Like, in order for you to sign up in this event, you have to go through this process, and we try to make the steps very, very clear. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's a matter of habit. We are all used to an easier life in some respect, that you don't have to learn all these things that you didn't have to use before, but now it's required. And it's required if we want to continue teaching properly, having our students participate in events, have them perform in competitions. Otherwise, what is the point? Are we going to stop doing everything because of that? This is an inconvenience, and it happened, but okay, how do we overcome that is the question.
Absolutely. And well, but we still hear from a lot of musicians with, large studios, and some prominent musicians raise the question of we are hitting a wall here. There's just way too much to learn, and it's way outside of the field of specific profession we are in, which is teaching and performing. And music history subject has very little to do with learning how to use online video audio engineering. And a lot of people raise concern, we're hitting a wall here. Maybe we can't really bring this forward anymore, because the resistance is just way too big. And do you believe we are? And are we at the point where we have to say, okay, let's just hope everything reopens quick enough, and our students don't quit and don't choose to learn something better than the art of performing, which is not providing them the opportunities?
No, I think this is a little bit a conservative approach, because in some respect, music cannot stop, and it will not stop. Our students will not stop performing, we won't. So I think that's just not a positive aspect. Why would we think about it like that? I think the solution in that is to focus on our most dedicated students, which, if they decide to do it seriously, they're dedicated and they're committed and they want to continue performing. So why taking away this experience and this desire from them? And it's the same for us. I mean, I can't imagine my life without music. Why would this virus stop me? Like, this is just an inconvenience, as we said before, and it's going to finish. And until then, we are going to explore all these amazing means so as to keep performing and sharing our music, and give pleasure to people, and also take pleasure from that.
Thank you very much for your encouraging comments. It is so important to hear people are doing it and succeeding. At being able to continue to stay current and stay relevant, like yourself. If I may introduce the Sound Espressivo Competition, of which you're a distinguished judge. Sound Espressivo Competition also relies on the stage, which is a virtual stage, the one we are using today, and the one just demonstrated with your beautiful playing. The stage is provided by Virtual Concert Halls, which is a new model of broadcasting company designed to support live music performances and programs with a cutting-edge broadcasting technology and television production systems. This company was created by professional musicians in collaboration, of course, with professionals from the tech industry and the software industry and the television industry. Virtual concert halls provided services to some of the most renowned performing artists around the world. Grammy Award winners and nominees, Emmy Award winners, members of top orchestras and opera companies, faculty members of some of the most well-known conservatories like Juilliard School, Moscow Conservatory, Colburn School, Cologne Musikhochschule, and many, many others already stepped on the stage and were able to perform and enjoy the connection with their audience through this new means. And now Sound Espressivo Competition opens this same stage of we believe that's the stage of the future, to musicians and students, regardless of their location and regardless of whether or not they're connected to big names institutions. This stage, again, I would like to underscore, was created by professional musicians. All in all, there was a creative collaboration of over 200 professionals working on establishing the systems, on learning to adopt various technological applications, which together combined provide this quality of sound and picture. Let's take a quick look at how it began. Yes, it began with a project of which you were a part as a experimental students recital for Hunter Mill Music Studio. And I herald and applaud you stepping in at the earliest ages when the technology was not as great as it is now. And that was quite a few months ago, almost 6 months ago. And your expertise and your input were invaluable in developing this stage. Thank you so much for being such a supporter of progressive looking forward.
Oh, it's an amazing project. It's really an honor, and it's fantastic how many people it engages and how many people benefit. So it's just my pleasure.
Thank you very much. Now let's just look for a moment beyond today's difficult situation into the time, of course, when everything will reopen and be back to normal. The concert halls will open, the music schools will be able to host students' recitals and exams and competitions and everything. What do you feel this form of performing, would it still exist, or would it just go away as a temporary fix for the time being?
No, it is going to exist. I'm going to tell you something very interesting. Last Sunday, I observed a concert of a very dear friend at James Madison University, where I also study, and I am a faculty. And it was extremely interesting for me to see. We were only 10 people. Each of us had a section, and there was a live stream service. And I was thinking to myself, that's extremely unique and amazing. Why? Because she got to share her music with all the people that they were not present. And I thought to myself, I'm from Greece, and all my family and friends, they're actually throughout the world. And that's not only with me, it's with every musician today. And I was thinking to myself that, when I will be performing and my parents are in Greece and my friends are in Europe, they can actually watch me. And this is forever, it's not only for now. It's another way of communication, and it opens the way for us to share our music with all over the world. And I think that's amazing. Because no matter what, there is a limited amount of sittings in the concert halls. You know what I mean? There is. And with that, you can share it with everyone, everywhere.
That is a very important point. For Sound Espressivo competition, for instance, we have contestants who already auditioned for the preliminary round from Australia, from South Korea, from the UK, from Europe, from very different parts of the world and very different time zones. I want to say time zones are now becoming challenging. But a lot of those young musicians would probably have a hard time participating in the competition if they had to purchase an airline ticket and hotel rooms and fly across the world. And for some who are underage, that means someone has to accompany them, and that person has to be able to take time off from their job obligations and family time and so forth. It quickly becomes a daunting proposition for someone to participate in the competition unless they can participate from their own living room.
And I was thinking, all these students throughout the world that they send their tapes for auditioning in universities, this can change now that we have, we never thought that actually they can live stream and we can hear them live and see really if this is what exactly they can perform at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And the other way, when we record, we really literally have no audience, and we know that. When we live stream, we may have large audience, may have small audience, or medium size, but when we stream, we always have audience. And for students who apply for programs to perform and have someone watching and listening to their performance in a live setting across the world, that's a different level of excitement, a different level of dedication. It's a different experience. Besides, the judges of your university can provide guidance and feedback to them immediately. So the candidates don't have to wait for weeks to receive the comments. By then they've forgotten how they felt performing, right?
Exactly.
So, as the Sound Espressivo competition judge, what are you looking for in the contestants? And I just want to bring up the artistic categories. We're not grouping musicians by instrument or by styles. We're inviting them to apply for artistic categories, for instance, virtuosity, lyricism, or miniaturist. There's 9 artistic categories. That's a little bit of a different shift in focus. So as for the judges, we heard from many judges by now that is new and something they have to prepare and consider how they are going to approach the judging. So what are you going to be looking for in the contestants?
Artistry, and I will be looking for personality in the playing, not a unified, kind of flat playing. I'm searching for people that they have something to say exciting, and students that they enjoy their music, and we can see their dedication through their performance and their passion. And of course, refined performances, polished. This is in this such a caliber competition, it is a given. But I think beyond that, and that's why I love these categories, is because everyone can showcase some part of his personality and his special, maybe specialization, even if they like something specifically and they want to present it.
Like miniatures.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. This is seems to be a consistent message. You are the on the last program of our series, Meet the judges, music promoters, and music educators. Today is our last program of that series, and I would like to mention that we presented over 40 people on these programs, and it seems to be the message is consistent. We are looking for personalities for contestants' expression of their own, of their styles and artistic merits and direction which they own, which they've chosen for themselves.
Exactly. And I think at the end, at this level, everyone can play beautifully and, technically, but you're seeking the excitement that, wow, I've never thought of this piece, this phrase like that, or I've never heard this composition. I think you have some compositions that they're innovative in their category, and I find this fantastic also, just exploring new music and exploring new ideas also.
Wonderful. That's a great invitation for everyone to really look deep inside and see what is unique about me as an artist, and then find the music which can express that, pick the repertoire which can express that best. Aphrodite, thank you so much. It was just such a joy to have you today. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you to address the music community of the world and just say what you would like everyone to remember at the moment.
I hope we'll all continue loving and performing music and sharing with the people we love, because that's the most important this period, especially in this hard period. And this is our role actually, and our responsibility to continue giving beauty to the world and through our music, and making the people around us be happy and feel well, and feel that they are, have a different understanding of taste through our offer. And I think it's our responsibility to continue performing, and I'm looking forward to this competition, to listen to young musicians that they are dedicated and they want to show their music to the world. So I'm very excited for the next months, and music is alive, and we are all here, and we continue performing, listening, and loving music.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this encouraging message, and for your kind words towards musicians and towards music itself. It was a great pleasure and great honor to have you. Looking forward very much to your judging and the comments you'll be sharing with the contestants early in December when we broadcast the semifinals and finals of the competition.
Thank you so much, and I want to thank you for what you're doing, because this is a real community service, and not only community service, it's a world service. It's really something wonderful, and I want to thank you for that, because you're bringing music to all of us, so that's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you very much. And with this, I would like to also thank all of our viewers, the Sound Espressivo Competition supporters, managers, teachers, performers around the world who add their energy, their hopes to this project. And of course, I want to thank the contestants who already applied and invite others to take this opportunity and explore this way of communicating, this way of performing and presenting your gifts to the world. And many thanks go to the crew of technical support of this platform. These are musicians who learned new skills and working very hard to provide this opportunity to create this virtual concert hall for the Sound Espressivo competition, for everyone who will be stepping on that stage and performing live to the rest of the world. Thank you and goodbye.